Day 17, History of a Gift, Matthew chapter 1. There are a set of gifts that are unique in this world. They are passed from one generation to the next. They can take many forms: jewelry, books, furniture, etc. They are usually items that are made of durable materials that can survive for years with minimal care. Well-made furniture can last for several generations. I have a couple of pieces from my grandparents. Books can last even longer. I have a number of these from my great-grandfather's library that are almost 250 years old. Jewelry is the most durable. I have a set of rings that are family heirlooms. One of my sons will inherit them one day. What makes these items even more valuable or of interest is when the history of the item is known: when it was made, by whom it was made, or written in the case of a book, and when and by whom it was obtained. Along with this information is the history of how it was passed from generation to generation. I have a Bible with this kind of history. It was printed in 1834, but contains genealogic information dating back to 1789. What is interesting is that the Bible was passed from daughter to daughter, not son to son. That is, until I received it from my grandmother, who had no daughters. The Bible is stored carefully, waiting to see which of my children will be interested in receiving it and caring for it. And that is the point. In Matthew, we have the history of a promise given to Abraham that through his genealogy the world would be blessed. A person born in his family line would be the one to fulfill this promise. What the genealogy contains is a list of names of those involved in the process of passing the promise from father to son until we reach the birth of Jesus. Yes, this genealogy is about a gift. In this case, a gift of future hope, and this hope is also revealed in the names included in the list. Some are people who trusted God's promises and served faithfully. Others were wicked, but the family line continued in spite of them. We also see evidence of the blessing for all the nations. In an unusual move for the culture of Matthew, he includes the names of 4 women. All of them were from a people or nations outside of the chosen people of Israel. These were women who married Israelites and then gave birth to the next person in the list. Even more interesting is the fact that one of the women was a prostitute, another committed adultery, the third was a member of an idolatrous people, and the last seduced her father-in-law, but was pronounced more righteous than he when she gave birth to the next person in the genealogy. These were everyday people whose faith in God opened the door to becoming part of the history of the promise. Genealogies are strange things. They have often been used to restrict who a person marries. Families want the best family lines for many reasons: prestige, power, riches, and more, either to maintain their status or to improve it. Alongside of this is a survival concept to produce the strongest, healthiest, and smartest children to ensure the continuation of the family line, generation after generation. Matthew's genealogy represents God's watchfulness over his promise. It represents God's heart of inclusion so that everyone is aware that there is a place in the history for those who are not normally seen as the best option for producing the next generation and maintaining a human concept of purity and correctness. The gift was promised, and step by step, God guided and protected its fulfillment, generation after generation, until it arrived and was brought to life in Jesus, the promised blessing for all nations.